How's it going, everybody? This is Radishhead, and yes, I am finally back. I appreciate it's been a couple of weeks since I was last on the channel. There's been a lot going on over here, not least me moving into a new house. As you can see behind me, I've got a new backdrop. It's looking pretty plain at the moment, but I'm sure that I'll figure out something to put back there. Maybe something Upland related over the next couple of weeks. Wow, there's been quite a lot going on in Upland while I've been away. Obviously, the official announcement of the partnership with Porto FC, so soccer or football, is coming to Upland, which is pretty exciting. Plus, racing is officially in the game, and I've got some big announcements to share today related to that part of the game. Before I go any further, I want to give a quick shout out to my executive level channel members, JDad303, Matsuda R, Bad Frog, Matrigno, and Monopoly Mike. Thank you so much for your ongoing support of the channel. And I also want to give a shout out to the sponsor of today's episode, which is the Creed Automotive Group and Marathon Motoring Magazine. As I mentioned, racing is officially live in Upland, and that is going to be a hugely important part about how the game is played and how to generate value out of your properties by putting them near racetracks or having industries which support racing, which is why I'm so excited to be able to share this Discord server and magazine, which is aiming to be a one-stop shop for all the news, strategy, commentary on cars, tracks, and racing in Upland. The first edition of the Marathon Motoring Magazine is coming out really soon, and it is looking amazing. Take a look at this concept art on my screen right now. So make sure you click the link in the description to check that out, because I really do think that the information on there is going to be so helpful for anybody who wants to get involved in this side of Upland. And if you are looking for a new racetrack to be involved in, maybe buying some properties alongside it, Creed Automotive Group also has their own racetrack, the Black Bottoms International Raceway. All of the information about the track layout, how to get involved, all of that is also located in the link in the description. Plus, if that wasn't enough reason to get excited about Creed Automotive Group, they are doing an NFT giveaway featuring Upland icons, More Cheese and Ben68 for the first 50 people who join the server, post in the fan chat channel what you're most excited about for racing in Upland, and posting in the reader chat channel what you're most excited about for the upcoming Marathon Motoring Magazine. So once again, thank you Creed Automotive Group and Marathon Magazine for sponsoring this video. Now let's talk about Holliswood. Everybody has been doing so fantastically building up Holliswood. As soon as you zoom in, you can see all of our efforts are really coming together. The floor price is going up. I still think it's got a long way to go. I've been slowly buying up more properties here because I've got some big news which I think is going to encourage people to build here even more, get even more excited about the future of this community. And that is that we have not one, but 3 racetracks currently approved by myself and submitted to the Upland Racing League for formal approval. And I want to give a big shout out to Matsuda R and his team. They played a huge role in designing these tracks and navigating through the Upland Racing League admin process. So they were immensely helpful and I love the end result. So the 3 tracks which I'm going to talk you through today, there's a circuit, which is obviously like a multi-loop circuit thing which goes around the whole of Holliswood. You've got a sprint track, which is more of a point-to-point, and you have a drag strip as well. So no matter what kind of racing you're looking for, no matter what your vehicle is designed to be best at, you'll find something for you within the Holliswood Node racing community. And all of these tracks have been designed to take advantage of the unique geographic layout of Holliswood. One of the reasons I was most excited to start building up this was actually in the long term to have a really amazing racing community here, because look at all the natural curves located within this neighborhood. You don't get this across many cities in the United States, and I do think that a racetrack here will be a big selling point. So let me talk about the circuit track first, because it is surely the most impressive of the 3 in my opinion. I've got it up on the screen now. You can pause the video and take a look, but otherwise I'm going to sort of run you through it now. The idea of this circuit track was to cover as much of the Holliswood land as possible, and even though this track really does kind of loop its way across the whole thing, it's still about 5 miles, which is quite reasonable in length for a racetrack. So if I move my camera southeast, the circuit track starts at the corner of Hillside and 204th Street, so where my mouse is circling here, and we're racing along Hillside Avenue down here, and we just keep racing along here. This is going to be a really fast bit of the track to start with, which I think is quite cool. And then when we get to 191st Street, we're going to be turning right up here, moving further into the centre of Holliswood, and we get to this crossroad here at Palo Alto Avenue, and we're going to turn left here. We're going to go up Santiago Street. Lots of people have already built properties up here. I can't wait to see even more people building stuff here if you happen to be on the racetrack. So we're going to go up to Santiago Street. There's a really cool curvy bit here, and we're going to build up a little bit of speed coming up here, and then we're going to get to McLaughlin Avenue at the top, which is where we're going to turn right, and then we're going to turn right again down on Palo Alto Street. So a couple of corners in fairly quick succession there, and we're going to be coming back down here. We're sort of going down the other side of this block of properties down here, and we end up back at the same kind of crossroad area, but this time we're turning left. So we're going along this bit of Palo Alto Avenue, up Palermo Street, and I love that in Holliswood all of the streets have like actual names, so they're not just, 102nd Street. We're going up Palermo Street, and we've got a really impressive corner here, so we're going to be turning right onto Kino Avenue. So that's an interesting bit of the track right there. We're taking this long corner around Kino Avenue onto Sancho Street. We get up to Nero Avenue, turn left here, and then take your first right up here. This is all a very well-built part of Holliswood, so I think this is going to look fantastic when people are racing around it. Going all the way to the very north of Holliswood onto 85th Road, where we turn right and go along down here, and we continue along the top, going from 85th Road onto McLaughlin Avenue. So all the people who own properties right at the top, they're getting their fair share of racetrack here. There's quite a sharp right now onto Pinto Street, and we're going back south into the heart of Holliswood, taking a right onto Como Avenue. Then we're going through this unusual kind of roundabout bit down here into Clio Street. So we're continuing our way south again, taking a fairly sharp right on Salerno Avenue, which is another really interesting curvy bit of road, but we're not on there for very long. We're taking the first left onto Dunton Avenue, and we're staying on Dunton Avenue, so we're travelling down here, and then this is a bit where you can build up a little bit of speed travelling along Dunton Avenue, and it sort of bends round into it changes the name to Dunton Street. So we're bending left here, and then taking a sharp left onto Pompey Avenue, which is another fantastic, naturally curvy bit of road. So you can see that we're going sort of up, down, left, right. It's a very cool piece of track, this. Out of Pompey Avenue, naturally goes on to Marengo Street, and we're continuing on Marengo Street, going north through here. Lots of buildings under construction here. I see lots of tower blocks and luxury houses. So people taking advantage of the slightly larger lots around here. So we're going north. We're back onto McLaughlin Avenue in the north of the node. Briefly, we're turning right, back down onto Epsom Course, which is a fantastic name for a road on a racetrack. And then we're going even further south, just onto Romeo Court here, turning left onto Dunton Street, going back up Sutro Street, back on McLaughlin Avenue, turning right. And then we've got Francis Lewis Boulevard, which is one of the main kind of straight pieces of track that we've got in Holliswood. So we're going to be racing along Francis Lewis Boulevard and then tucking into 204th Street here, back out from Foothill Avenue onto Francis Lewis Boulevard, and then the final turn into Hillside Avenue here. And then the track continues with a fast bit coming out of Hillside Avenue. So I think it's fair to say that if you own a few properties in Holliswood, you're going to have some trackside properties here. And even if they aren't trackside, when people are racing around, they're going to see your stuff in the background. Yeah, I'm really impressed with how that track turned out. I can't wait to see the properties around here get built up. You'll be able to display things on your properties in the future, have advertisements and billboards. It's going to be a key part of the Upland racing community, in my opinion, because it's such a unique and varied track. Now, I do appreciate that was a fairly long segment, so let's jump straight into the next one, which is the sprint track. So instead of being a circuit, this is going to be a point-to-point race. It's going to be a little bit faster paced than the circuit one. So we're starting once again Hillside Avenue on the corner of 204th Street. But this time, as we come along, we're going to be turning into Foothill Avenue, which is a street which we didn't use during the circuit. So we're going to be travelling along Foothill Avenue, and then quite a sharp turn back onto Hillside there. And we're going to be travelling along Hillside again, getting that speed back up, and again making sure we make use of all of the roads available. We're going to be turning right into 193rd Street, left onto Foothill, and it's going to be going along here for a block, then back out via 191st Street onto Hillside Avenue. So it's not just a straightaway, we've got a couple of interesting inner bits as well. Then obviously we're reaching the Holliswood border here, so we're turning right onto 188th Street, going up here, turning right onto Palo Alto Avenue. Then at this intersection we're turning left, and left again up Santiago Street. And this is going to be a fairly smooth journey up into the north of Holliswood along Santiago Street. Quite a nice smooth bit to get your top speed up. And then we hit the north part in McLaughlin Avenue, where of course we'll be turning right, and this is another fairly fast-paced bit of the track, so I think that the sprint track is definitely quicker than the circuit on average. Turning right on Sancho Street, and we're coming down here where my mouse cursor's following, and we're turning left onto Palermo Street, which I'm very happy with because this is where I've got a few buildings going up at the moment, and I see that a lot of other people have really built up Palermo Street, so there you go. We're going around this corner, this long corner on Kino Avenue. We're back at this funky roundabout bit, turning right, going down onto Clio Street, right again onto Salerno Avenue, and instead of turning down onto Dunton Avenue, this time we're going to continue and then go left onto Palermo Street, follow that round onto Palo Alto Avenue, and then right again on Palo Alto Street, and the finish line for the sprint track just around here on Palo Alto Street where my mouse is circling. So if you people own properties around here, it's a good opportunity to build those up in anticipation for being the finish line of the sprint race. I think that's quite an exciting opportunity. And then last but not least, I know there's going to be a lot of people who are more excited about the drag racing side of Upland racing. So once again, we're starting at the corner of Hillside and 204th Street. Really, Hillside Avenue is one of the few kind of long straightaways that we had to use a drag strip. So here you have it. One interesting little bit of advice that I've got is there are opportunities to buy houses on this drag strip on Hillside Avenue for less than the Holliswood price. So if I zoom in on here, the floor in Holliswood is about 80k, but if I look for these Hillside Avenue properties, this one, for example, is being sold for 25k up here, and that is right near the start line, which is on this corner here. So there's properties here which are a pretty great opportunity for people serious about this racetrack. But obviously, because it is a drag strip, it's going to be a fairly simple thing. So we're starting on Hillside Avenue, and of course we are staying on Hillside Avenue. We're just racing along here. People with their sports cars are going to have a lot of fun accelerating along here and trying to get their top speed as quick as they can. And we're basically just continuing until the corner of Hillside and 191 Street. So that is the drag strip. Short and sweet, as all drag strips are. I think there's quite a lot of opportunity for us to build up this area on both sides of Hillside Avenue. So yeah, if you're excited about that, then get involved there. Spark is still so cheap to rent. I'm definitely going to be renting some very soon. But there you have it. Those are the 3 racetracks which have been created, currently submitted for approval with the Upland Racing League. So watch this space. Keep on building your properties up in Holliswood. I will absolutely let you know when it's been designated as an official racetrack, and then people from all over Upland, they're going to be visiting Holliswood. They're going to be racing by your houses. For those of you who are interested in having Block Explorer training academies, repair shops for cars, Spark refueling stations, all of that, there's going to be opportunities for all of that in Holliswood because it's such a small neighborhood and the track goes around the whole thing. I don't think you can really go wrong when in the future there's going to be demand for all of these different things, and having it all concentrated within quite a small neighborhood geographically, that's going to mean that people don't have to travel too far to get the services that they need to race at the highest level. So I hope you found that exciting. I've got a few more ideas for videos coming up, and then I am off on a little break from mid-July until August, but I'm going to try and schedule some videos so the channel isn't completely devoid of content during that period. But thank you very much for watching. I hope you found that interesting, and I will see you in the next one.